Hey guys, welcome back to Hustle Unfiltered. In this episode, we deep dive into Kayla's prep as a whole, how the whole prep has unfolded, what she's doing next, how she mentally and physically has faced all the challenges that has come with it and the outcomes with that as well. We also just talk a little bit about our relationship inside the prep and what that was like. If you guys enjoy the episode, which we know you will, please make sure you like, you follow, you share on the stories, and you follow us both on Instagram and the Hustle Unfiltered page. If you're interested in coaching, there will be our inquiry forms in the show notes. If you need anything else, just shoot us a DM. Enjoy the episode. All right, welcome back to another episode of Hustle Unfiltered.
Slay.
It has been, we actually had an episode recorded last week which was this episode, but we had some technical difficulties, so that was a little bit unfortunate. But we're back, we're gonna do it again because it was a really valuable episode. It's an insight into Kayla's competitions, what her plans are moving forward, and just like where we're at the moment. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, look, we're like, 2 weeks post-show now? So
yeah, a week and a half.
How are we just feeling? How's life?
Life is just adjusting right now, getting back into normality. I feel like last week was a little bit rocky just in terms of adjusting from being so focused on one singular goal, that being front of mind, literally 24/7. And then it being over, and I was just like, okay, now what do I do? What do I think about? What am I focusing on? But have had some really good chats with the people around me, and obviously the goal right now is just to get myself back into a healthy state after a very prolonged period of dieting. So that is the goal right now, but it's just there's not that additional pressure of like there being a time sensitive goal. You're looking for a look every single day, every single week. Like there's just a lot of that pressure is obviously gone now. So there's definitely just more space for my brain to think and to prioritize other areas right now. And I think the second week has been a lot easier than the first.
Yeah, how so?
Just because I am adjusting to it.
Yeah. How's the food noise?
I feel like it's been the worst in the last 2 days, to be honest. Not even food noise, just hunger has been more present, I'd say, in the last 2 days out of the last couple of weeks. Got to enjoy myself straight after the show. We had a couple days of just eating when I wanted to.
We had our first real dinner out.
Yeah, we had our first date on Saturday after 6 months, which was really nice. It was good to get dressed up, go somewhere, enjoy a meal together, and just again not be thinking about something else. It was just I felt very present in the moment, which was nice. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great time. It was nice to just talk to you about something that wasn't bodybuilding.
Yeah, actually talk about our life and what we want to do together. Not just I have dropped this amount of weight today, or I feel this lean today.
Yeah. No, look, I think for anyone listening, the inside of dating as bodybuilders and supporting one another through prep, it definitely has its strengths, and Kayla's done it for myself, and I've now done it for you. And I think it is equally, and I say this from more so how much I relied on you in my prep versus how much, me trying to put myself in the spotlight is what I'm trying to say. But I think it's very much a two-way, it's a team sport as much as you're the person on stage by yourself. It's very much you. I couldn't have done mine without you, put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in all aspects of if you're with someone, your relationship, that's the team effort there. You and your coach, that's a team effort. At the end of the day, it's up to me and it was up to you to show up and do what you need to do. But to have the support around you, that makes a world of a difference on your ability to get to the end and not lose your marbles in the process.
Well, you're losing them no matter what.
You're losing some marbles, but there was still a few left over.
Yeah, and you're putting, the reality is you're putting important things on hold too.
Well, priorities have shifted. It's just right now that was the goal. It's maintaining what you can or what you need to, and the extra stuff or the extra priorities you can put on top of that gets pulled back.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to get into it because there's quite a few questions here, and I know you don't even remember the ones I asked you.
I have more food coming in and I kind of feel like normal, but my brain is absolutely still not working at 100%.
I mean, look, to be completely transparent, as someone who's watched you go from extremely fried in the most respectful ways possible to now, you're definitely better, but there's still aspects of you, I can just tell that's still a little bit got to catching up to do.
I'm less of a zombie, which is nice.
Yeah, I think the energy is there. I mean, just from experience and watching you, and this is just like more so like a insight of like our relationship and just what it looks like for someone post prep. But it's just a matter of like the lights are on, there's a few people home, but like not everyone's on board yet. Like there's not all hands on deck yet. And I think it's like it's a matter of like things like emotional regulation is still a little bit hard. Things like handling high amounts of stress is still really hard. It's like you want to do it, you want to push for it, but then it's like you put your foot down to the like pedal to the metal, but then it's just like there's a delay. I think that's like the best way you can sort of describe what things are like for you at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I remember that too, and I was saying this to you like last night. It's like when I was still doing face to face, and it was like my brother's bucks was coming up, his wedding was coming up, I was the best man, work was super busy, and then like I wanted to take my business online, and I was like, cool, I've got all this stuff to do, but I just like didn't know where to fucking start, and it was just like mental breakdown after mental breakdown.
Yeah, that's been the last couple of weeks of like, I have all this space, I have all this time, I have all this like energy available to me, but at the same time, what the fuck do I do with it?
Yeah, because you just don't know where to start.
That's been like the hardest part that we're still working on, and I know it's going to come with time as well. Whereas when being in prep, like all that extra stuff I couldn't put a focus on. Like that wasn't a priority. So it got to stay still. Now I'm like, okay, prep's done. That can't stay still anymore. We need to keep fucking going somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the shift where we're working.
Yeah,
through.
I feel like because when you're in it, you immerse yourself into it as well, so much so that your clients talk about it to you, like we talk about it. You talk to Jason every day.
Everything.
It's just like everything revolves around that. So then you're not even giving yourself the ability to have the conversation about anything else anyway. But let's get into it. What was the main goal going into this prep, and how did it evolve? How did that evolve over time, if it did?
So the main goal going into this prep was to show myself what I was capable of within this sort of extreme goal. Like in the past, I had done 2 photo shoots already, or worked towards 2 photo shoot goals, and they were both big steps from what I had ever done in terms of working towards a physique goal. You know, I've done the fat loss phases, done a build phase, but never gave myself a specific time frame on like, this is what you are going to achieve in this time, give it your all. And when I approached Jason to speak about I want to compete and like this is what I want to work towards, it was looking at it from I want to see what I can do. I know that this is that next level I can take myself to and see what I can achieve with a goal like that. And it kind of evolved as the shows went on, more so because there were standards that I had set for myself, and now I'm like, I want to do better with the next show, but it was never going to be something where like the outcome of like winning or placing or things like that, where if I didn't get that, I'd be disappointed.
Well, just update us, because I think we touched on last week that we lost. How did the nationals end up going?
Oh, so with nationals, quick little backtrack. I've got my souvenirs. We got second in first season, 2 first place. I got first in under 30s and first in opens in my class. And then when you do come first in one of your divisions, you get put into the overall, and that's when the other girls that also place first in their divisions, we basically compete together for the overall. And at the national show, the overall, you'll win the overall, but you'll also win your pro card and become a pro athlete in the federation. So I didn't win the overall, but I was still invited, as well as the other girls who didn't win, to compete in the pro show with the other pro athletes, and I got 4th.
Which is awesome.
Which is a slay, a massive slay.
Yeah.
So
it means you're in the mix, you know.
It means we're pro worthy. So it's like I just need some more muscle. I got my feedback from the national show as well, and they said my conditioning, so like how fucking dick skin lean I was perfect. It was there. It was one of the best on stage, which is huge. I just need more size. So for me to be like pro dog worthy, I just need more muscle. So
Pro dog.
top dog pro worthy, I just need more muscle. But that was the outcome of it. And yeah, like as I said, as the shows did go on, there were standards that I had set for myself and expectations internally I had for myself to do better each show. So the goal would have shifted a little bit in the sense of, okay, if I came second and third in the first show, I'm like, I either need to get second and third again, or I need to do better in the next show. And that was just my own sort of, I want to raise that bar for myself.
Yeah, I also feel like though, like no one who does this, like we talk about the idea of like, you need to do it for yourself and not do it because you want to win, but let's be also quite honest and transparent with this. It's like you're thinking about doing your absolute best, and you know, like I know for a fact when I was training and when you were training in prep, it's like I'm gonna fucking win. It's like, you know, the reality is like maybe you're not gonna win. Like you know that's not the sole outcome.
I'm not fucking stupid.
Like
not
I'm gonna get my pro
delulu.
card first season, but like you're still going in with the mentality of I need to show up as if I'm gonna win.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, I said this to myself the whole time, and the win for me was literally getting on stage. Like I didn't care what the outcome was, because I knew that the win for me was literally just stepping on stage, and the outcome is the cherry on top. Yes, it shifted over the shows where I wanted to do better because for myself, where I was like, that's the standard. Like I want to beat what I just did.
Tell me you're a high achiever.
Yeah, but that was the goal at the end of the day, was always to show myself that I could do this, that I can push myself to that limit and I can find where my limits are. And even in that, like the kind of secondary goal under that was just to place in all the shows. Like was to at least walk away with a medal
with
of some
medals,
sort.
yeah.
And we exceeded that, and we placed better than I could have ever expected at the start of being in the top 3 at every single show. So that was even better.
Yeah, awesome. And I think just watching that as well, like being the person who watched you go through it, I think you well and truly held to that. Like you never really deviated from that whole mindset going into the prep.
Yeah, no, I knew that if I started thinking like, oh, you've got to win, Kayla, like it would have stripped the whole experience away from me, because
take my first show.
The two
learning curve.
Yeah, but like the two minds is like where one side of me was like, you know, you have to win, Kayla, like that's like you've got to win. But then the other part of my brain is like, you can't think that because you don't know who's going to stand up on stage. And it wasn't like I was constantly fighting that battle, but sometimes it'd come up, but I knew how to shut that down pretty quickly.
And you experienced firsthand of what it looks like when someone out of the fucking woodworks just shows the fuck up and blows everyone away.
Yeah.
Because for anyone listening who doesn't know, in the first show, there was this girl who was just like in a sleeping bag the whole day. Like Kayla was there from like fucking 9 a.m. and you didn't get on until about like 2?
No, it was like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 p.m. So Kayla was there from 9, so was this girl, and she was all covered up, and she was in a fucking sleeping bag when she wasn't getting...
She was just straight napping backstage. I was like, good on you, sis. Like, love that for you.
And then out of nowhere, gets out of this fucking sleeping bag, the most jacked girl I've ever seen in my life, who also just happens to be fucking 19 years old, and won the whole show. And she won the pro card at Nationals. Yeah. So it's just like, that's the most perfect example of why you just can't go in with the mindset that I'm going to win.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What surprised you most about yourself during this prep?
What surprised me most about myself? I think towards the end of the prep and how challenging it got, my ability to be so laser focused on the fact that it just has to get done.
I'm curious as well, like as a follow-up question from that, like what would you say? Because the thing is, like, you were lean from the first show. Like, you were definitely lean. You were definitely lean in the second show. But then, obviously, the last show was the absolute leanest. What do you think actually was the things that changed in terms of making it so difficult from the first to the last show?
The protocol.
But like, what part of that was hard? Was it just the fact that you were hungry and not eating? Was it the energy? Was it like...
It was the energy. Like, I have never felt that low in energy in my entire life. And the best way to put it is, like, I felt like what a zombie looks like. Like, I felt like a zombie. And we've obviously had the conversations where how you felt at the end of your prep, and I've heard people talk about it on social media where it's like everything just hurts and you don't feel normal. And I felt that up until the first show, but I obviously wasn't at that point extremely yet. So I think experiencing that and just being able to literally put one foot in front of the other and being like, yeah, if you stop right now, Kayla, you will probably fall asleep standing straight up, but just keep fucking moving.
Yeah, I think Jason in the last podcast put it really well. It's really hard to, just in general, to explain to someone how much more that there is to go, right? Like, you lost, 12 kilos, 13 kilos in your prep, and it's like, in the beginning you're like, oh, where the fuck is this going to come from? But it's like, there's just more to come off. And to get, like, those feelings of fatigue, your feelings in the earlier moments were obviously really difficult. But once you get there, you realize, oh shit, no, there's like still way more.
Yeah. When Jason initially told me what the prep could look like at the ending, I was like, that doesn't seem real. Like, I'm not going to be a functioning human, and you know, it can happen. And obviously in a sport like this, it's something that is required to do what you got to do. But yeah, like, I remember there was points, and I think I told you this, like, once when I went to the shops after the gym, like, I was on very, very silly amounts of little food, trained, did cardio, posed, so that's like 2 hours already. I have about 4 rice cakes in the system. Which,
just so people know, this is like bodybuilding protocol.
Yeah, this is not normal people protocols. Like, don't ever do that. But like training, I think I was trained legs. I had like 30 or 40 minutes of cardio. I did 30 minutes of posing. So that's like 2.5 hours or 2 hours, 4 rice cakes in the system. And I had to get some stuff from the Woolies because we needed some food. And walking out, I was like, literally, if I stop right now, I'm going to collapse. Like, I literally cannot. It sounds a bit dramatic, but it was just one of those things where, like, I just have to keep walking and take one step in front of the other. Otherwise, it's downhill. Like, the girl's just going to lay on the floor and not move. And I think just being able to get through that and be like, okay, yes, you're tired. Yes, you're hungry. Yes, you're low on energy. Yes, like, low key, not in a very healthy state right now. But the fact that you got through that and you can do that and you're still here, you're all good, I think just shows and kind of gives me a better understanding, like, what your body can actually handle. On a, like, effort standpoint. I
mean, for yourself as well, it's mentally too. Like, there's not many people that can mentally put themselves through that willingly and just carry on with their life.
Well, from now on, I'm like, if I feel like tired after a shit night's sleep and I'm in the middle of a build phase and I'm going to tell myself I can't train hard, like, girl, no, you just did a fucking prep. Like,
yeah,
you'll be fine. It's just a lot of proof that, like, no excuse is actually fucking valid anymore. You've got to just get shit done now.
Well, I think that was answers the question of what the hardest part was. But were there any parts that, like, went a bit more smoother than you expected?
I think the whole prep in itself.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously had heard and seen stories, and that's from just, like, social media. Like, you know, people, I feel like there's a lot more highlighted negative experiences of prep than there is positive experiences.
I think that's from people doing one when they shouldn't.
Yes.
And poor coaching. Just my 2 cents.
Like, no, absolutely. And I understood that before going into prep. That's why I'm glad I didn't choose to prep when I first ever had this thought 4 fucking years ago, because I know that would have been my experience 100%. But going into this one, like, I didn't think I was going to have a negative experience, but I was like, I didn't also think it was going to be this much of a smooth experience. But that was a byproduct of putting myself in the position mentally, physically, emotionally to be able to handle the prep as best as I did.
Yeah.
And also having the time spent with Jason, like coaching with him for the last 2 to 3 years, we've obviously formed a really great relationship over that time. He understands me as a client, I understand him as a coach. So for us to work together in one of the most like challenging processes that you probably would go through on a coaching journey, it made that a lot easier. So yeah, the prep as a whole, and just again, like even just the starting point, like I remember when I started prep, I was like, I'm so lean, like how am I going to lose like 10 kilos? Lo and behold, she was not that lean because she's very lean now. But also having spent so much time working with Jason and doing the appropriate time spent in a build phase, and you know, not treating that build phase as like a fucking free-for-all and actually still following the plan and all those sorts of things, like it put me in a really solid starting point for the prep. So that transition wasn't so like shock to the system.
Yeah, no, I agree. What, if you could change anything, would you change anything about the prep?
I think I said this last week, is just my ability to manage my own stress that I place on myself.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Like there was no challenges that, or like there was challenges, but like the biggest challenge of all was just me not putting so much pressure on myself for things that were outside of my control or not necessarily required my attention at that point in time. And being more open and willing to accept the fact that this was a number one priority in my life, and that gets to be okay.
Yeah.
Earlier on. We got there in the end, but next time I would like to let myself allow this be a number one priority from the beginning, and it be okay.
I think it is hard, like being a business owner, and I know we do talk about business quite a bit on this podcast, but you know, as someone who's a solo operator, like both of us are solo operators, we obviously wear all the hats, which means we wear the coaching hat, we wear the finance hat, we wear the admin hat, we wear the fucking HR hat within ourselves. Like all these things, we wear all the hats, and I think that's, even just from my own experience as well, I think it's probably the hardest thing to manage.
Yeah. I think as well, something I've been kind of learning and like reading a bit about lately is just being a service provider business. Like we obviously provide a service, we're there, we're helping people, we are that sort of person that holds that glue together. So when it feels like when you're putting yourself first, or not even putting yourself first, but when you are prioritizing something for you over maybe like making that resource or making the content or doing something like that, it's like, am I now doing them a disservice?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But what I found like did help me, and I had these chats with you, with Jason, even with my mentor as well, is like by me putting myself first and achieving a goal like this for myself, it obviously shows them that they can do the same. And the moments where I did feel stressed out or like I was putting all this pressure on myself, like definitely having that as a reminder or reminding myself of that helped me a lot, because I'm like, wait, yes, I'm doing this for myself. Yes, this is a high priority for me right now, but this can also impact the girls that you work with. This can also impact the people around you in a really positive way, because it shows them that you can, like, they can go after the goals that they want.
You set an example, yeah.
Yeah, set an example for them and give them proof of like, okay, she set this goal, she went after it. Like, who says I can't do that? Because I know I do that as well. Like, I would look up to someone that I look up to. I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
That was the bodybuilding thing for me. I'm like, if they can get up on stage and wear the heels and pose and look phenomenal on stage, why can't I do that?
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's just, sometimes you are the service provider and you're all about providing the biggest service in the world. And sometimes, yes, you're doing something for yourself, but you're also setting a standard for your own clients. And I think that's okay too, because look at all the overwhelming support you've got from that as well.
They have been incredibly supportive, and I've got a good folder of some really nice messages. That was nice to look over the show days and, you know, remember why I do what I do, which is cool.
What were the emotions stepping on stage?
The first show was nervousness. More so because I'm like, I haven't stepped up on a stage in nearly 10 years. The last time I was on a stage was when I did dancing in a group setting when I was like 16, or up until I was 16. So I was more nervous about the being on stage. And backstage, a lot of my self-talk was like, oh, it's just like you're doing a group class, Kayla. It's just like you're doing a group class. Like, it's all good. You look pretty. It's fine. You're going to have fun. So I'd say like the first show was like nervousness with like a mix of excitement. The second show, I'd say we had a little bit more self-doubt more than anything.
Can confirm.
Yeah, was very, very... I put a lot of pressure on myself, like I said, from the first to the second show. I was like, I wanted to do better for myself, not to prove a point to anyone else, but just be like, I want to do better than second and third, or at least match that. And yeah, I was doubting that. And again, great chat with you, had a great chat with Jason, and was just like that reminder to just go there, have some fun. And as soon as I stepped on that stage though, I was like, I'm having the time of my life. Like, yeah, good. All of that went away, reminded myself that I had my mum in the crowd, I had my sister in the crowd, we had all our friends from Melbourne as well. So I was like, you know what, just have fun and like do what you got to do, and obviously walked away with a really incredible outcome from that. And the last show, I'd say, was more excitement and confidence than anything. Like, I didn't really even think of what could the outcome potentially be. I knew I pushed myself to that point. It was just
the breakdown about the makeup.
The breakdown about the hair and makeup. I was not a fan of my hair and makeup, but it's all good. We had my posing coach Beck there backstage. Thank God we had a female around, because she was like, you look fine, Kayla, you just need lip gloss.
Jason and I were like...
Speaking to Jason and Jackson, yeah, they were like, no one's going to look at that. You look amazing with your physique. I'm like, yeah, but I look like shit. But that was the only partial mental breakdown, but we got over it. But how I felt in terms of just like what I was presenting on stage, you know, reflecting on the work that I've done to get me there and actually standing on stage, it was a lot of confidence and just pride of like, yeah, fucking oath, I just did that. And then again, walked away with an outcome, that cherry on top.
Were there any moments that, like, any behind the scene moments that you haven't spoken about, that no one's heard or seen, that you either are positive or negative?
I don't know. Is there?
I don't know, I'm asking.
You live with me. I'd say like the last 2 weeks of prep was like quite emotional in terms of like the positive emotions of it. Yeah. Like there was some moments when I was driving to the gym, like to do like the last cardio session, I was like, I'm actually like getting a little bit emotional about this. Like, could shed a tear right now. Like, I fucking hate cardio, but like, why am I getting so upset that this is my last one? Like there was some moments like that, and you know, I think the negative ones are just more the little bits and drabs of complaining. The reason why I asked you, because I'm like, you're probably the one that would pick up on if I've spoken about it or not.
Nah, I mean, I'd say like you and I have actually had some quite nice moments that we haven't really like publicly like gone ahead and said, but it's like nothing big. It was just the fact that we've been able to still have some really enjoyable moments in our relationship within the midst of a bodybuilding prep. Like, yeah,
we've said this to each other. We believe our connection has grown stronger, or our relationship has actually improved. Yeah. Since being in prep, due to the types of conversations it in a way forces you to have.
Yeah, I agree.
If we didn't have these conversations, I'd say it would be in the bin. We would not be in a good place. But because of the prep and because we didn't want to be in a bad place, we had to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
It allowed us to grow together.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is cool.
Post-show, what is the biggest, or how are you approaching this mentally and physically over the past 2 weeks and moving forward?
So the post-show phase, like it's like a recovery phase, like reverse diet / recovery phase, with the goal of just getting myself back to health. So getting my period back, making sure energy levels are back to normal, appetite's more regulated. Also to put on some more body fat as well, like the stage weight I was, or the weight I was when I stepped up on stage, was the lightest I've ever been this whole prep. And that's when I'm like depleted, no food in the system, like everything has been sucked out of me basically. So that's obviously not maintainable.
Someone just got a vacuum.
Yeah, and just like sealed me shut. But that's obviously not maintainable in that front, because like I'm not eating a lot of food, but also from a health perspective, being that lean is not healthy or sustainable in whatsoever. So right now the goal is to see a gradual increase in body weight over the next few weeks to get myself back into a healthy range where I do have a regular cycle again. All my hormones are back and functioning like normal. So right now, like even for myself mentally kind of approaching this, and I said this, I think I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast as well, but like I'm looking forward to see my body weight go up. I'm looking forward to seeing some more body fat on me from the health side of things, but also like physically from an aesthetic standpoint, I do enjoy how I look with more body fat on me. Anyway, like being this lean is really cool. It's been incredible to see what my body did and can do, but aesthetically I much prefer the look of a little bit more body fat anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like to see the scale weight change and to see my body change over the next few weeks, sure, there might be some days where, you know, the fucking body image demons come out to play, and I can expect that. But for the most part, I'm looking forward to seeing this sort of back end of prep kind of happen. So that's that. In terms of training, I have been given a 4-day split over my 5-day as we go through like the recovery side of things, and that's just like a lot of tempo work. You know, yes, food's increasing, yes, we're not in prep anymore, but there's still an effect of that, all that stress that we need to kind of reduce over time anyway, so it doesn't just stop overnight. So for me to try and train like I would in the middle of a build right now would just set me up for a disaster, injuries, all these sorts of things. So doing a lot of tempo work, pause work, so just managing the amount of weight I'm lifting. Obviously one less training day as well to reduce all of that stress and fatigue that's been on my body for so long. And then this phase is like around like 4 to 6 weeks. And then once that's over, let the fucking build begin. And I'm so excited.
And the build will be quite a while.
The build will be a very long time. Like next year is
you and I are just
going
to eat the town away.
Yeah, lots of date night spots we've got to catch up on, but no, like the next year is going to be dedicated to building, improving, but also just incorporating and having more normality in life as well.
Will you compete again?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Sure.
At the absolute earliest, it'd be 2027.
Yeah, we both got some time till our next competition.
Yeah, and building muscle takes time. You know, that was the one piece of feedback that they want to see. If I was to compete again, it's like, we need more size, and it's just like, well, that takes time. So
should I make you cry again?
No. I've cried a lot this week already.
Oh, I do. The episode that we lost, I expressed my gratitude for Kayla, as in the sense of she's done an amazing job. She's carried herself very professionally throughout this prep, and just from me to you, like, congratulations, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Alright guys, we're going to wrap up the episode there. Hopefully you got a lot out of like the episode itself and just having a bit of an insight of what the prep's been like for Kayla as a whole, as well as just like what the plans are moving forward, and just getting more knowledge around this sort of stuff if you're not very well versed in this in general. If you enjoy the episode, please make sure you like, please make sure you follow. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment, or just, you know, share on the stories, do all the things. If you want to apply for coaching, in the show notes there is Kayla's inquiry form, there is mine. We are going to be coming out with some sort of macros and meal prep guide very, very soon, so you guys will have access to that. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.